What's going on? So, the United States government is set up on the basic idea of balancing power between the three branches, right? But for a really long time, the Supreme Court didn't have its most important and influential power, and that is the power of judicial review. Judicial review is what gives the Supreme Court the power to deem any law at any time either constitutional or unconstitutional. You see, if the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, no law can contradict the words of the Constitution. So that power, again, is called judicial review. But where did it come from? In order to understand judicial review, we need to look at the court case Marbury v. Madison, and we need to go all the way back to 1801. So John Adams is the sitting president, and he is a Federalist. He is about to peacefully transfer power over to Thomas Jefferson and the Democratic Republicans, and he's willing to do so peacefully, which is a really big deal in and of itself. However, he wants to make sure that the Federalists maintain a certain level of influence. So on his last night as president, he is going to issue the Midnight Judges. These are a series of notices naming Federalist supporters in positions as federal judges. So he writes all of these letters on his last night as president. Fast forward to the next day, Thomas Jefferson is the new president, power has been transferred, and he is going to tell his Secretary of State, James Madison, to stop delivering these letters. All right. William Marbury is one of the guys waiting to be named a federal judge. He's waiting for his letter, and he realizes that it's not coming. So he is going to sue James Madison for not delivering this legally binding letter, and he's going to sue under the premise of the Judiciary Act of 1789. And he's going to tell the Supreme Court that they should force Madison to issue these letters. John Marshall is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at the time, and they have a very difficult decision to reach. He finally gives his verdict, and it's pretty complicated. First, that those documents were legally binding that Adams wrote. Second, Madison acted illegally by not delivering those letters. However, the whole premise of the case, the Judiciary Act of 1789, was actually unconstitutional because in the Constitution, it doesn't tell the Supreme Court that they can force people to deliver those writs, those notices that Adams signed and Madison didn't deliver. So by doing that, they set up the idea of judicial review, that they can look at a law that's pre-existing and actually deem it unconstitutional. So that's how Marbury versus Madison gives the Supreme Court its most important power of judicial review. Hope that helped.